Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here. And tonight we've got a special episode, followed by our 600 special. You can see the names of the stages here that I've created. And today we're going to be going over my picks for the top 10 worst special weapons in Mega Maker. Now, I am not counting like the default weapons of the characters like the Mega Buster or Base Buster or Roll's Broom. And I'm not counting any utility items such as item 1, 2, or 3, Rush Jet, Flappy Beat, Treble Boost, things like that. Those are all excluded. What's included is any weapons you get from the Robot Masters, and also some of the other special weapons they included, like the Perfect Freeze and whatnot. And so with that, I'm going to meet you in the stage. I want to save, because if I click on this, it's going to show you the list of what all is top 10, or what all weapons were in this stage, though they're not necessarily in the order. You are not going to find this stage on Mega Maker. I will upload it after I upload both of the playthroughs of this. So with that, I will meet you in the stage. Alright, here we go with number 10, and I've given us the Mega Buster, just to help us get through. Now, the whole aesthetically, I kind of have everything just kind of similar. I wanted this to be about the special weapons, and not really be about difficult stages, or challenges and platforming challenges to try and get through. So, levels itself is going to be somewhat simplistic, and sort of the way I created these lists is I went through all of the weapons and I picked out ones that I would consider, bad or worse than others. And then I just kind of asked myself, okay, well, would I rather have this weapon or this weapon? And that's kind of how I ranked them. So coming in at number 10, the 10th worst weapon in the game, is Powerstone. No, I'm kidding. Don't thumbs down the video. I just wanted to... I had Dr. Novocaine go in there. I'm sure I got some of you guys going there too, but no, it's not Powerstone. It is Tornado Hold. And then I'll have like a little demonstration area where you can try it out. The problem with Tornado Hold is it'll kind of like arc down. It can be really easy to miss an enemy. Like there I kind of overshot it. You have to line things up right. It's good against stationary enemies that can block projectiles, but see how much difficulty I'm having hitting him? And yeah, that's not happening. I mean, if enemies can move into it, but yeah, it's not super great. It does have some utility to help you reach higher places, if that's helpful in a stage that you're given the weapon, but and that is why it is ranked lower than number 9, Thunderwool, Sheepman's weapon. So it's still not that great of a weapon in my opinion. Granted, the clouds can't be destroyed, or at least not destroyed as easily. It's another thing that's good against stationary enemies, but it's really just kind of, yeah, see, it's just kind of slow to do what it needs to do. It's kind of awkward to try and aim, like it can be aimed, but it's not always the most convenient. It's nice that you can have 2 of them out. It's nice that the shot goes along the ground like that, but it is a bit on the slow side, and it still is kind of awkward to use. Not as bad as it was in Mega Man 10, but still not that great. Number 8, Yamato Spear. This thing just makes me sad. It should have been, like, for starters, it does not pierce as it should, and you can see that some of the shots, they like arc just ever so slightly. That makes it really difficult to aim properly. I mean, granted, it'll go like 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, but to try and keep track of where the next shot is going to arc upward or downward in the heat of the moment, that's just too much, and it becomes difficult. It doesn't pierce shields either. Like, this is supposed to be the shield-piercing weapon. If it at least pierced through shields, it would not have made this list. Well, it doesn't pierce through shields. It does not deal with that either. I kind of ran out of it. Yeah, you also run out of it pretty quickly because, you know, you're missing half your shots or they're not piercing. And this really should have been a piercing weapon. So yeah, number 7 is Windstorm. Now, Windstorm does have some utility that lets you bounce really high. That's new to Mega Maker. But the reason why Windstorm is getting lower marks here is you can see it just carries enemies away, which is kind of amusing to see. But that means that it's not actually killing the enemies, it's also fires in a straight, like, quickly dropping downward arc. Let's just skip him, because killing him with Windstorm is not really going to happen. And so the problem with Windstorm is when it carries enemies away, you're not killing them. That means you're not getting potential health and weapon refills from the enemies that you're defeating, which means you're going to deplete your Windstorm pretty quickly with no way to fill it up from enemies. Now, coming in at number 6 is Flame Sword. I kind of struggled with where I was going to put this one. Honestly, numbers 4 through 6, I could have put basically interchangeable with each other. At one point I had this as the 6th worst weapon, and I had it as high as number 4. What is the 6th worst? But I settled on number 6 here. The reason for this, it's such a short-range weapon, and there's really no benefit you get from being short-range. It doesn't pierce shields. See? It doesn't work as well against enemies, and maybe it's just because I see it so much in this, in Mega Maker. I see so many stages where people are making Infinite Flame Sword and using it to replace the Buster, and I'm really annoyed by that. Yeah, look how much, yeah, that takes a lot of hits to take down bigger enemies because it doesn't really do extra damage. And like I said, I just get so annoyed seeing it that I had to put it on this list. Alright, coming in at number 5, where we're going to get a full refill and an easy E, is Super Arm. Gutsman's weapon. Now, it is better than in Mega Man 1, so you create a block that you can then pick up. The problem is you need to create things super precisely, and it's really easy to end up missing your target because you throw in a weird little arc. Also, it's really easy to not be able to create, like if an enemy is running through you, you need to have the exact space. You can create multiples of these and make nifty platforms, and get around some platforming challenges that way. But yeah, for combat purposes, it's just kind of awkward to use with its arc and explosion, and it doesn't pierce shields either, as we saw it just bouncing off the net. Coming in at number 4, the 4th worst weapon, is Spark Shock. It's better than it was in Mega Man 3, still not saying much. So the problem with Spark Shock is you can only have 2 of these going at once, and if you switch to another weapon, the enemies, well, they all get unleashed. You can see, you can still take damage from the enemies, they're still in your path, and it will slowly damage, it will actually damage enemies now. But yeah, we're just kind of sitting here waiting for it to do its thing. How many times does it need to hit that in order to take out the Joe? We're close to dying. I don't want to die in this stage, but I also don't want to use my E-tank here. So yeah, we'll take it down. Well, see, this is why it's up here. You can only have 2 Spark Shocks on at the same time, which is more than you could have had in Mega Man 3. Mega Man 3, you could only have 1. And I'm not even going to bother trying to kill this Hammer Joe with it again, because it just takes too long, and it's so inefficient. Alright, let's use it on Sniper Joe. I mean, we can use it and get around his shield. We can do that with any weapon. But yeah, if we switch to another weapon while you have the Spark Shock out, it just completely negates it and the enemy goes back to moving. So the reason why this is bad is, you know, I can't switch to anything else. And of course it's going to take forever to kill the big eye. Unlike, say, Ice Slasher, where you could use it, freeze the enemy, and then switch to something, and then blast it away and kill it a lot quicker than what Spark Shock can. So yeah, Spark Shock is my number 4 pick. But as I mentioned, so Spark Shock, Super Arm Flame Sword, I had them all at those 3 positions. I think they're all fairly interchangeable. Coming in at number 3 on the list is the Command Select. The reason why this is bad, this is kind of a novelty weapon. It's very versatile, but you only get 1 shot of whatever you're trying to do. And as you can see, as you're trying to select stuff, enemies and things will still keep moving towards you, so it can be very versatile. Ha, see? Powerstone is one of the worst weapons. We just featured it here. I like Mega Man's face there. So this is kind of more of a novelty sort of thing. We do have Heal, we do have Kamikaze that you can only get through here, but the issue is you only get 1 shot of this. Oh, that didn't even work. Snake. Wild Coil. Yeah, it's just so inefficient to try and utilize Magma Bazooka that you're going to end up getting hit. And if you get hit while you're trying to pick something, yeah, it's just not very practical. Now, the way this could be fixed is if, okay, I pick something and it stays as this weapon. Instead of only getting 1 weapon, or 1 shot of this weapon, you get to use this weapon repeatedly until you switch off the command selection and switch it back on, and then you select another thing. Rather than getting 1, like, look at that. That was 4 button presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just to get 1 shot of a quick boomerang. That is so inefficient and so unusable. That's why it made number 3 on this list. But yeah, that means there's 2 weapons that are somehow worse than this. What are they? It's not Powerstone. I did the Powerstone joke at number 10 because nobody is going to believe it at this point in the episode. But yeah, Time Stopper. This is Flashman's weapon. And this is, in my opinion, the worst of this type of enemy freeze or gimmick freeze or time freeze sort of weapons. We can turn it on and off as opposed to Mega Man 2. But it does not do any damage. It rapidly depletes this bar. It will stop, like death lasers and level gimmicks and whatnot. But just literally everything else can do it better. Once we have time stop going and we switch off of it, everything is moving again. As opposed to like Time Slow, or Ice Slasher that can freeze enemies, or Centaur Flash that freezes enemies and stops level gimmicks and all that, and does damage. Time Slow is just the most inefficient, most ineffective version of this sort of concept. And that is why it made number 2 on this list. Now, number 1 on this list is, can you guess it? It is Needle Cannon. Needle Cannon that was, you know, okay or usable in Mega Man 3. It is now... I mean, it has a gimmick to it. But the gimmick is... it needs to sit there attached to an enemy. And then it will slowly do more damage. The reason why it's bad is that, well, as you saw, the needles start falling off if your enemy goes invincible or has a shield. It's not even working correctly anymore. Yeah. It does half as much damage as a single Mega Buster shot. So this whole concept of needles sticking to them and dealing extra damage, it's not really extra damage. You can get more damage just by firing your Mega Buster off, because you see it takes like... It took me 2 shots to kill one enemy with a Mega Buster shot. When that enemy, like the little guys up there, look at that, 1 and 2. Whereas if I had just used Mega Buster, it would just be 1 Mega Buster shot and it's done. And this is a straightforward shot, so it doesn't have any sort of range versatility either over the Mega Buster. The only reason you would want to use this over the Mega Buster, and you can only also have 4 needles going at once. Once you have all 4 of them, then you can't fire anymore, and you have to just wait for the needles to do their thing. But the thing is, they do their thing so slowly that it's not worth it to do the thing. So I'd rather just be using the Mega Buster or anything else. I mean, at least Spark Shot can freeze the enemies, and Blaze Needle Cannon doesn't even do that, while it slowly damages enemies. So yeah, that is my list and my picks for the top 10 worst special weapons in Mega Maker. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you agree, disagree with my placements? Maybe you'd place them in different orders. Maybe you'd have some different weapons that would be somewhere on this list. That's always the excitement about these sort of top 10 lists, and that's why I wanted to do this for episodes 599 and 600. 600, we're going to celebrate the 10 best special weapons, so I'll see you guys next time for that.